hello to all those non-humans and ascended master humans also watching. Gita Rose here. Thank you for tuning in. This week's video is another little bit of a reminder or pointing out subtleties within different concepts or ideas. So for the record, I will state in this video as well, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Here it comes. I am in no way officially affiliated with Bashar Communications, but I am always and forever appreciative of Darryl Anka and April Rochelle for all they have provided and continue to provide for our community. That being said, looking at some of the more subtle aspects of the formula, being in our joy, following our passion, our heart's translation of our aligned, grounded excitement in each and every moment to the best of our ability, committing to it all the way through without any insistence on what needs to occur, and then remaining in that integrative state regardless of what occurs. Not being in any insistence. So it's changed recently, or within the last few years, because I think more and more of us are understanding our necessity for desire, and that there is going to be a certain level of expectation. That it is more so not having expectations, it is not more so having expectations, it is having no insistence. So I think more of us are knowing this in our own translation. As we continue to live the formula, it refines. And we are the ones creating the show. We are the ones relaying this information back to the hybrids to be able to transmit different translations. And in my experience, and in Bella's translation of this part of the formula, she always says insistence, and I think it's switched recently as well. And it's really the more precise translation. And this is what I'm going into, the reminder of this today, is that we are going to have a certain amount of expectations. And it's not only is it okay, but it's needed. It's necessary. Whoa, huh? What? Your expectations are necessary. It's just not having insistence that you think it's going to go the way that you are quote unquote expecting. But it's okay, it's necessary, it's needed. Those expectations are parts of the original download that's coming from the higher self, that's coming from the actor on book, that's relaying to the physical perceiving mind, the character in the story, the next idea. The expectations are the translations of our true desire. And it's going to happen because that's the indication that our imagination is connected. When we're really in the flow, in the alignment of our channeling of ourselves, and we get one idea, whatever we think it might be, or whatever, how big or how quote unquote seemingly small it might be, when we're really in that flow, the imagination is going to take us to the next space. Oh, then wouldn't it be cool if? Or I wonder what would happen then if. And it's that space that is the translation of our desire. And then, of course, we're in the space of no insistence that it needs to happen that way, because we remember that we are just getting a translation to get us moving. We remember that we can only imagine the what if from the particular vibration that we are at, and that most likely, as we continue to follow the formula to be the form that we love, to be in the flow, to be the path, to be the channel, we're going to heighten our vibration, and most likely we're going to align with something that is far more expansive than we even had the capacity in that original moment to receive the download of. And so again, it's that no insistence on a particular outcome that is so crucial. But I think a lot of us sometimes fall into the space of having insistence on having no expectations. So it's really no insistence with no expectations. Because we're going to have a certain degree of expectation. And again, it's so needed. It is the download of your own desires. It is the translation of your imagination that is continuing to flow through you. And this leads into a bit of a deeper conversation, a deeper idea, a deeper reminder that I think a lot of times in the spiritual community or in different more old paradigm, new age community, is that the idea is that it's not about having desires. It's about eliminating yourself of desires, because desires increase suffering. Desires are the result of suffering. Desires result in suffering. And that's just not true. It's the insistence that creates the experience of suffering. But without your desires, you are not your perfectly tuned, needed, necessary aspect of creation. And right now in particular, when there's so much reflection of things that we don't desire, of things that we don't prefer, of things that arise, all of the opportunities for us to go into our shadows, to look at the little nuances, to look at the little flecks of dust on the mirror, I feel that it's really important and really empowering to get really, really clear with what we do desire and to love those expectations, to have such an appreciation of the moment of being in our imagination when we go into that space of, oh, and then wouldn't that be cool if, not to be like, oh, stop, that's insistence, because it's not. That's not insistence. That is you feeling your desire, feeling your energy, feeling your power, feeling your imagination. So don't halt that. We can be in that space of loving that, of appreciating that, being like, wow, I'm so connected. I'm such a creator being. I am such a God that is remembering itself, and like, oh, how cool. Look what my imagination just did. It's given me a level of an expectation, which is a reflection of my true desire in a translation. And then when we remember, oh, right, it's a translation of my source frequency, of my perfectly tuned, unique aspect. Oh, right, it's a translation. And then from there, when we just remember, right, it's a translation, that really organically and authentically puts us in the space of no insistence on that particular expectation, no insistence with that particular translation of the desire. And right now, too, again, I think it's so important for us to not only honor those moments of the observation of the imagination, of the channel, of the relay of source in motion, but to also perhaps really carve out a time to investigate what your true desires and wants are. Whether it's talking to yourself out loud or writing, journaling, doing mood boards, painting pictures, writing songs about it, whatever it may be, like carving out the time to investigate and to play and to get really clear with your desires and your wants. And then to, again, be in that state of the no insistence, and to be in the state of choosing to trust, of choosing to explore the state of knowing that you will always get what you need, and what you need really is what you want. But if we're not allowing ourselves to really play and expand and to carve out the space of getting really clear of our desires, we're cutting ourselves off from possibility. And I feel that it is so important right now, because there is so much contrast, to really create that space for ourselves. And then, to the best of our ability, let it go, right? And that is kind of where things get really tricky. Especially for if it is something that we really, really want so deeply, so passionately. We want whatever this idea is. We desire this so much. We think that this expectation, we found this state of love for it, and this what if, oh, what if would be so good. It just would be so good. I want this so much. And it's within the energy of the earnest connection to that, right? There's this spark of innocence. There's this spark of this earnest fire of longing, that when we go deep enough into the acknowledgement of our wants and our needs, there is the spark of the childlike wonder. There is the spark of the deep, authentic, earnest yearning for it. And to me, how I translate that is it gets so deeply core into the frequency itself, right? We can all have our own translation of what that feels like in our body. And that's the sensation that we then utilize in each and every moment. Like, that is finding the space of our passion, our joy, our childlike spark, our source and motion, our divinity and action, our passion in translation. It's that core part of the innocence of the desire that when we find just the energy of it, we can utilize it and make choices and take action that give us the reflection of that core space of desire. And really, really utilizing that force, that energy, in my experience, allows us to really be in the space of the knowingness that I will get what I need, and perhaps what I think that I want is not truly what I need, but it is the connection with that eternal, earnest, deep desire that I can choose to trust. That's what I'm going to keep getting back, is activating that level of authenticity, that level of sparkle, that level of excitement. And then again, leads me to the remembering that, oh, right, this idea, this expectation, this, oh, what if, is just the translation. So it's anchoring in that really sweet core emotion of your honest desire. Honoring the level of expectation, going, oh, how exciting, that's my imagination in action. Oh, and I still feel that divine spark of my energy, of my unique facet, of my source. And then that leads me to remembering, right, it's a translation. And the story that we are writing, that we are playing, that we are observing, is the revelation, is the uncovering of surprises, of mystery, the present in the present, right? And I think there's the aspect of the child, of the innocence, of the desire, of the want that really wants that present, wants the surprises, wants the mystery. And in that way, then it really kind of brings us back full circle into being able to utilize the energy of desire. And then having no insistence on having no expectations. Because you're going to have a certain level of expectation, it's there. But then how do we alchemize it? How do we utilize it? How do we wield the desire of our essence? So yeah, for me, this has been something that I have been, just jumbled you around there. This has been something that I've been really playing with and asking myself, asking that child aspect of me, what do you really desire? Go for it. Feel it. Be the vibration of the state, of the idea. So, yeah. Thank you to those of you who subscribed this week, and thank you to those of you who continue to support and encourage my journey thus far. You can like if you like, and ring the bell ding dong if you like. Our minds may be different. Our bodies may be different. But it is through our hearts that we know our spirits are one. Aloha!